Nikki B.
Oh my God.
You were caught with a bone in your hand.
Hi guys.
Welcome to the podcast today. It's Nikki B and Mama K. Nikki B, I love him and he loves me.
I love Mama K.
Mama K.
Punk unicorns.
He'd screw me if he wasn't gay. Punk unicorns, punk unicorns,
We need Evanescence to do our podcast opening for us. She'd be like,
how can you see into my garage where we do our podcast?
oh, that's hot. Hey everybody!
What's up, you hexy witches?
We're back for season 2, episode 12.
Oh, did you do the thing?
Oh no, I
You didn't do the...
didn't. There we go.
Yay! Episode 12.
Yep.
And we're going to name this episode, We Don't Know, but we're just going to sit here and chat.
Yeah, and we have good lighting today. It's not overcast like last week.
It's not cold.
We already saw the dog guy from around the corner.
I saw my dog friend. Yes, he's already been by. And we've already sampled the product of the week.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, product of the week was Knockout, which is the LG Smalls version of Right Hook. Poof! So it gives you that intense body buzz, but you still feel it behind your eyes like a good sativa. And it's fabulous tasting. You know what?
It's very nice. Very smooth.
A few things. If you are going to the dispensary, weed only tastes two ways. It tastes like minty or earthy, okay? One or the other. Maybe throw some like citrus in there a little bit. But please don't ask your bud tenders, how's the weed taste? Because you know what I'm going to say.
Every pellet's different.
Like weed.
Like weed.
And then they laugh at you like, oh, aren't you a bitch? And it's like, no, I'm just telling you, it's the 400th time I've had to say this today.
Does that usually happen with the younger crowd or just in general?
No, what happens is something that is lacking in Ohio is putting how the weed makes you feel. Every fucking state does that. So people come in and they're like, okay, well, I want weed that is relaxing and uplifting, but won't make me sleep. And I'm like, okay, so you want a hybrid. Well, we don't list weed that way. So if I ever sound like I'm like dirt, like lost, it's because I've never seen my weed listed that way. I think that they do on I Heart Jane, maybe. So you can say, I want relaxing weed. Well,
and they'll tell you the strain.
Right, or you could just be an adult and learn that that's indica. And we always make easy ways for you to remember. Couch. Right?
Right. It's
like,
true.
It's going to put you into couch, and the sativa is uplifting. It gives you energy. You're going to mow the lawn. You're going to do your laundry. You're going to do all the things that you need to get done during the day while your kids are at school.
And you just have a little buzz while you're doing it.
Yeah.
It's so lovely, isn't it?
And always check out your dispensary's menu before you go in, because everybody feels the same way you do, which is they really want their weed so they can go do what they're supposed to be doing.
Right, and if it's still the same concept as it was before, they won't list it if they only have a certain amount of it left.
Right, but also though, don't feel bad if you have to take time, even though I just said all that. Because
because shit happens.
Right, we also want you to have the best weed that's going to make you feel your best. So even if I say, hurry the fuck up and look at the menu, I won't be mad if you do take your time, and I will give you a full consultation. And I won't stare at all the people that are staring at you.
And depending on what you look like, he might give you a full body massage while you wait.
We do have a massage parlor located around the corner on Northcutt.
Mm-hmm. With a happy ending.
And they got 24-hour lighting, so you can feel safe
right.
in the parking lot.
It'll be a happy ending or not.
Right.
So much.
You might end up in the creek.
In the creek.
In the creek.
So over this weekend, I had my cheer squad over to the house for a Halloween sleepover.
I can only imagine what that was like.
It was lovely. actually was. It was great. 6 of the 7 girls got to come, and well, one of which is my own child. But you know, we had a good time. The one girl
Did she get to FaceTime the girl that couldn't? Did she get to see everybody at any
No,
point?
but she got a goodie bag. I brought her a goodie bag to practice last night.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm glad you did that.
Because by the time her family got done with dinner, I already had 2 cheerleaders sleeping on the floor, and I'm like, I don't want to risk that, you know, because the excitement of bringing another one in, and I'm like, and so the mom messaged me. I was like, I've already got 2 of them asleep. I was like, I have a goodie bag for her though, and we're doing another sleepover for Christmas, so it's gonna happen again.
Okay, good.
So she'll have that to plan on, but one of the girls, my little Aria, my little wild child, she has night terrors, and this was her first time staying away from home with somebody that wasn't family, but she did amazing, and she was the reason why I needed naps the next day. But she has night terrors.
Always need naps the day after a sleepover.
Yep, she has night terrors, and she did have a rough night, but she was fine. And I got up to go to the bathroom. It was like 5:45, and you know my boys had work, and she lifted her up. She's like, Coach Cat, I'm still here. I was like, you did it, Aria. You stayed. Yay! Now shut the fuck up and go back to sleep. But no, we sat there and had coffee and we talked and yeah, the girls just, hi Mom. You can just come in to hang out and get some fibers for your new nest, huh?
They do not care if we're in here. Watch. Yep, he walked right over to the spot and he's looking at us.
Mm-hmm. Peace out, Holmes. I think it did it last week too. So yeah,
they do it all winter long too, especially when the salt build up. They come eat the salt at the edge.
So yeah, we had a wonderful time. The neighbor guy Monday morning when I was putting the kids on the bus, he's like, "Were you guys having like a wrestling match at your house last night or Saturday night?" And I was like, "No, why?" And he's like, "I heard like a loudspeaker and people screaming," and I'm like, "Oh, that's because my sons were telling spooky stories." Yeah, they were talked about Mr. Eric, the gummy man with no teeth, that ate all the gummies.
Ooh, are they too young for Slender Man stories?
Yes, and they're actually too young for my funny story too.
Yeah, because it's scary for adults. Slender Man is kind of terrifying.
I have a story that I usually tell, and I've told it. My granddaughter is almost double digits. And I have told this story. It's about an abandoned house, and you get the kid. Once upon a time, there was a little boy named Nicky.
Once upon a time.
Oh yeah, you got to get really into it because by the end of it, they're so damn scared, and then they realize that it's literally a joke at the end of it. So. You're like, once upon a time, there was a little boy named Nicky B, and he was a very curious little boy.
Oh my God, I'm curious.
I know, this one is much like you. So what would you do, Nicky B, if you stumbled across an abandoned house and heard a voice coming from inside saying, when the log rolls over, we're all gonna die. Wouldn't you go in and inspect it and look around and ghost hunt?
No.
Yeah, I'd probably run it, but
I know better.
But this Nicky B was a curious little fellow, and it's about
stop, Nicky, don't go.
Don't go in the house, Nicky B. So it basically tells the story of you hearing that when the log rolls over, and it keeps getting louder and louder and louder until it's so loud when you're in the bathroom, you look in the toilet, and it's 3 little roaches floating on a turd. When the log rolls over, we're all gonna die. By the end of that movie or the end of that story. That's where it goes.
I would have been mad if I was a kid. I'd have been like, what?
Yeah.
That's what's going on.
And the thing is, my grandkids have heard that story 413 bazillion times. And still to this day, Mama, tell the story. Tell the log story.
I'm going to tell it at work.
Tell it at work.
I'm going to get everybody all enthralled, and they're going to be like,
yep. He opened the front door and it got louder. He realized it was coming from the upstairs, so he climbed the stairs and it got louder. When the log rolls over, we're all gonna die. He goes into the bedroom, it's even louder. And then he goes into the bathroom and it's louder as could be. And he looks in the toilet and there it be. So yes, get your children with that. It is great. Or take them on a haunted hayride.
Can I just say, I love how obsessed with Halloween Gen X is.
We really are.
I mean, because these fucking 12-foot skeletons everywhere make me so happy.
That big ass pumpkin in the yard up here.
We were just talking about that right before
it's
you got here.
huge.
Isn't it? It's like,
I'm talking
it's
huge.
bigger than an SUV, y'all.
Yeah, it's about the size of 2 SUVs together. Like,
and
yeah.
At least 8 feet tall.
Oh my god,
9
at
feet
least.
tall.
It's huge. I was like, oh my god, that's the biggest pumpkin I've ever seen ever.
Yeah, if you know where Imperial Hills is.
It's a blow up pumpkin. It's,
you
oh
can
my
come
god, it's
see
huge. It's as big, it takes up half their house.
There's also a Jack Skellington that's 12 foot just around the corner.
I haven't seen him
There's some of the traditional larger skeletons that are like 7 or 8 feet tall, not exactly the 12-foot ones. And then there's a couple houses where people got a little extra. And there's like some...
We always love that extra house.
I know, like, when it's like way too much because they really want to have a haunted
It looks
house.
like Halloween
And I get
on their house.
Yeah,
yes.
like I get that feeling. So I'm not hating. Make your houses extra, like blow your power out, like have zombies
National
crawling out of
Lampoon's
the ground.
Halloweens.
Like,
Yep.
dude, they parked their truck in the driveway and made it look like
I've seen that.
rain over zombie pumpkins, and like it's a cool yard. So
At first, when I first saw that, I was like, please tell me that this is gonna, please tell me you're going somewhere with this. Because at first I was iffy about it. Because it was looking a little bit like
every
tacky.
2 square feet had its own thing in the yard.
It was looking a little tacky. But now that I see it, and you know,
you can analyze every little section.
you see where their mind was going throughout the process, and
it
I'm
works. It's cute.
But yeah, it works.
And there's a house not by you, but kind of near you in Huber. If you make that first right off of 202 at that Ghetto Clark station, and you go up the back way, and you go where Harshmanville dead ends forever into that field, that house right there.
Yes, that's on Harshmanville. Yeah, we go there every year.
That is so cool looking.
We go there every
year. Talk
year.
about extra. They took extra to like Black Hole level.
Yes, and on certain nights they have live actors out there.
It's legit in their front yard, a haunted house they made out of skids.
It's so bad, it's so scary, my husband won't even go. Well, he's afraid of that shit, but he won't go in there. But me and my grandkids...
And it's
every year,
single $215 thing from Foy's or Spirit Halloween.
Oh, they have
every single one
amazing
of them.
stuff. And then, so I did the sleepover with the cheer girls this past weekend. This Saturday, the grandkids will be there.
Part 2.
Part 2. And,
how many is that?
I think it'll be less this time. Or maybe right around the same. 6 or 7 will be there, including my kids.
God, your vagina multiplied exponentially.
I know. I've got babies and
and
babies
just wait
and
till the other 3 have babies. Right? You'll be a grandma forever.
Isn't it awesome? I love being a grandma. My grandson, Caden, we call me his emotional support human. Because it's... ever since the day he's been born, it's been mama, mama, mama. I am like, the sun rises and sets when I awaken and depart.
I have a feeling that's the way the kind of grandparent I would be too.
Oh my gosh, he just, the day that my mother passed away, we had cheer practice that night. And he had never done this sort of thing before, but you know, kids can always tell. They have a sixth sense for, you know, when things are happening.
Oh,
they'll either aggravate the fuck out of you or they'll love you to death.
They're always analyzing patterns, and if something sticks out, they're like, boop, boop.
Right. So I think Caden could, because it was literally 30 minutes before practice started that I had, you know, got the call about my mom. So I have this little wagon that I carry all the stuff in, and no matter where I was, Caden I think he had his tablet or something. I don't know what he had. But he would follow me around. No matter where I went, he'd follow me around with that wagon. And if I stood there, he would just sit the wagon, get in the wagon and sit there, wait for me to move again. Get out the wagon, follow me in the wagon. Like he did it 3 or 4 times. And then I was over talking to his mom. And I had walked away from him. He didn't even notice for a good 15, 20 seconds. So me and my daughter-in-law were just watching to see when he really, and then he sees me and he gets out and brings it over to me and sits again like, Mama, what are you doing? But no, the grandkids will get to go on a scavenger hunt at the, we'll write down, before we leave, we always write down things to look for. Like something orange or something small but scary, or
small but scary,
big but not scary, and things like that. And then we'll go to like 4 or 5 different houses that have like an abundance of things out there, and find those things there, and then go back, have a little fire, get in the hot tub, watch a movie, do crafts. And then I did the craft with the cheer girls. I'm gonna do it with the kids this weekend too. You take little pretzel sticks and you line them up on your little paper plate, and then you take melted chocolate and you just do swirls in it, and then you put like sprinkles on it, and it looks like a little spider web. Did you see the picture on TV? On the Facebooks?
I saw the picture of when she did the spider on her face. I don't know if
no, this was at the sleepover. We did.
Oh, okay.
We made these out of chocolate and pretzels and sprinkles.
Oh, that's such a cool idea.
Yeah, he had such a good time.
I did see that. I didn't realize that's what they were eating. It probably just looked like fucking pizza.
Oh, that's Gwenny J.
Oh, her glasses are so cute.
She gets so many compliments on her rainbow glasses. But yeah, they had so much fun, and do it again with the grandkids this weekend. But also, before I forget, I want to wish safe travels to Regina, our friend Regina. Regina is taking her children, Matthias and Watermelon and Umbrella, to be with their gunkles for a weekend.
Where's the gunkles?
I can't say for legal reasons. But they are not in Ohio.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, are they in the capital of Gatum? Of North America? Columbus, Ohio?
No, they're not there. They're not in Ohio, no. But their gunkles, are wherever they are. Like they're traveling men. We'll put it that way. They're traveling men.
That's cool.
They live where the road takes them.
If I had, like in my later years, if I had an acceptable roommate that would take care of the house to my specifications, I would spend 3 and 4 weeks on the road at a time. I would definitely go do something like, and I have to have an RV, because I would want to do something like drive it to Mendocino, California, and then drive from there to Seattle.
I think that's what they have. I think they have an RV, but they also are, I don't know, it might be a fucking tour bus for all I know. But they have that, and then they have their personal vehicles. And they've been traveling, trying to figure out where to pretty much drop anchor. And they have dropped anchor, not far from here, but not in Ohio, but not far from Ohio. So, yeah, they're gonna go spend 4 days with their gunkle Sean and their gunkle Jordan.
Oh.
Gunkle Jordan is like the petty version of me that just don't give a flying fuck. If you're
Jordan, that's the requirement.
Yeah, you gotta
it's
be a little.
It's something that happens with the name.
Cause like, if I'm like, I feel like I should do this, but then this is the reason why I feel like I shouldn't, and he's like, well, here, I'll just do it for you, bitch. Thank you. Thank you so much for allowing me to continue to be part of the drama. And he's constantly taking one. He's the one that he actually, my mother's funeral was live streamed, and basically held my hand throughout the whole thing.
Oh,
It was
that's
really
cool.
sweet of him. Okay, I did that. There's two people I want to talk about briefly because I talked a lot last week. I'm gonna let Nick talk a lot this week. But there's two people I want to talk about. The first one is a young man named Treston Stamps, who has turned his life around and is now sober and running his own barber shop on Dixie. I can't remember if it's Dix North or South, but I think it's where that old tattoo shop used to be.
Zap
Tattoo.
That guy turned out well.
I think that's where. I don't
I'm just
quote
gonna
me.
say,
I'll tell you where it's at.
Zach did a lot of work on that building, so it was probably move-in ready because Zach put the floors in, he did the walls, blah blah blah. So I bet that place was ready for something.
Okay, hold on. That's his old one.
Do no dead time. Do no dead time.
No dead time. Doobie-doobie-doo.
Da da da.
All right. I see you, Treston Stamp. Where is your stupid address for your damn tattoo? Or this is the barber shop. Tress the barber. And it is, I know I just saw a post.
I know, because I saw the post too. So that's why I know you're not lying. You're lucky that I know you're not lying.
3803 North Dixie Drive. And this is Treston Stamps. Tell him the punk unicorn sent you, and he'll be like, who the fuck is that? And you be like, Billy Hughes' sister, and he gonna be like, word, and you be like, word, and he'd be like, where that bitch at? Call her, FaceTime her, because he don't even know I'm doing this, because I just found out this morning how great he's doing.
You fucking awesome people.
You fucking awesome asshole. Treston, with your barber shop and shit.
Yeah.
Rock on, Treston Stamps.
Don't forget to have good music.
That's right. Fucking death metal, bitch.
Yeah, and make sure it already smells like you got a candle that smells like cigars and bourbon in there. Yeah.
Oh. Whew. You smell my fart.
And you know what's funny? He might get some extra business because you know there are 1 million stamps in Northridge, and they might think he's one of them.
Well, I know he's from the Ville. He's from Brookville.
Oh, then he might be the same family because half of them are from Brookville and half are from Northridge. Because
Yep,
my
live
girl
next
Ricky
door.
Ricky went from Brookville, and she's a Stamps. She's probably
You know Ricky? That's his sister. Ricky Piper Treston.
So I have known Ricky and Piper since like 2000. I haven't talked to Piper probably since then too. Ricky and I were really good friends when we worked at Max and Irma's. She ran with a group of girls from Northmont. I think she was the one not from Northmont though. I love Ricky.
Oh, Ricky.
Because she's
We
the only
used to be
person.
neighbors,
oh,
too.
That's such a small world.
So
Kathy and I have 1 million weird mutual acquaintances that we just know separately.
I will
That's
tell
so
you,
funny.
yeah, that's Treston's sister.
She's like the hottest chick, one of the hottest chicks I've ever met.
And a badass too. Look,
Beautiful
so
hair, and it's so curly.
before, let's see. So this would have been.
Because she's from Northridge too. I've got a bunch of friends from Northridge that are friends with her too.
Yeah, this would have been before my son Cameron was born, and he's 17. So we were neighbors for a short time, and she was in C and I was in D. Well, we had a mutual friend in F, right? And I had.
Is it Stacy?
No.
Okay.
You may know. We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
So we had mutual friends down here. Well, I had the oldest child playing with my one son at my house, and I was making.
Because her oldest kid's probably an adult now.
Oh yeah, she's got her own kid.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, her daughter that has a man's name, but it's a girl.
Yes.
She has a baby. So I was making something, and I asked the little girl, "Do you like this?" And she didn't know how to answer me because they were little. And so I was like, well, let me go down here and ask Mom if, she likes it. Now, this is the oldest one that I had, and she wasn't communicating well, so that's how little they were. And then she had another one that was a little bit younger than her, and then she had a newborn that was like 3, maybe 4 months old.
So this is probably just after Max and Irma's.
And this wasn't Ricky that had the kids. This was the lady down the thing.
Okay.
So I went down to go ask the mom if the daughter liked what I was making. Well, I knocked on the, did a little tap, and then I go in like, hey, neighbor on premises. I still do this when I go into Tiffany's house. So there was a commotion going on, and they didn't hear me come in. Both babies are sitting on the couch, and I'm talking baby was sitting on the couch that can't even barely hold his fucking head up. Both these babies are sitting on the couch, and Dad is beating the shit out of Mom in the fucking kitchen.
And this is your guys' neighbors.
Yes. So I snatch up the babies that are on the couch and fucking book it out the door. As I'm walking in my door, Ricky's coming out her door, and she's like, what's going on? And I'm like, get in here. So I told her what was happening. So she sat there in my apartment with the kids while I went back down, because you already know, motherfucker, I like beating up boys.
Oh my God, Ricky was my...
So Ricky's sitting there with the kids,
awesome.
and I go back down there, and when I walk into the apartment, I go down the hallway, he's got her like bent like this, and he's like half on her, and just boom, 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 and she's like leaning, she's got her back on the stove, and he's looking over this way, and I just kind of went up like this, and boom, with my elbow. And got him right on the side of the head. And when he come back around, I got him again with my elbow.
That's the best way to do it.
And she was able to maneuver out. And I was like, go to my house. And by that time, I don't know if Ricky had called. I don't recall who called, but the cops were there by the time she got away. And then he was like wanting to press charges on me for assault. And the cop was like, no, that's
not how that works.
That's not, because now the cop did say if the children were still sitting on that couch and I had done that, they probably would have taken me to jail. But the fact that I removed the children from the situation before I went back and diffused it, they're like, we'll give you the benefit of the doubt. And I'm thinking,
well,
now, if I was a cop, I would have not given me the benefit of the doubt because I took the kids to another location and didn't stay there. I went back and whooped his ass. If I was a cop, I would have arrested me.
Steal the kids. I wouldn't have arrested you.
Right. He's like, you took the kids out of that. But yeah, it was like.
That's what neighbors do for
But
each
I come
other,
back.
right?
I remember coming back and Ricky standing there holding the baby, and I was like, fucking elbowed into the face twice, and she's like,
I'm gonna have to tag her on Facebook.
Yeah, that
hilarious.
is so funny. Yep, but Tristan is her brother, Tristan the barber.
Yeah. So I met him when he was little. Then
probably, yeah.
And Piper.
I haven't heard or talked to Piper in years. She was the sweetest thing.
Yeah, she didn't work with us at Max and Irma's, but she was friends with Ricky. She's Ricky's sister, and Ricky has a best. I don't know if they still talk or anything because I don't really talk to either of them anymore. But at the time, she was hanging out with a friend of me and Chuck's, Stacy, that we worked with, and Stacy was really cool too. And then there was a whole bunch of girls, and they were all class of '99 from Northmont. There's like 6 of them all at work together. One of them was on a commercial for a siding and gutter company.
Really?
Yeah, and I can remember she was helping some guy who's up on a ladder and he falls and it's all this funny stuff, and she was in a commercial, and I can remember seeing her on the commercial for years.
I remember one of the girls I went to school with was in, it was either a Toys R Us commercial or a Sears commercial.
Ooh.
Katie Warville, which was it? I don't remember, but I remember it was a Christmas commercial. And she had let everybody know, she's beautiful, she's still beautiful. And she had let everybody know she was going to be in this Christmas commercial. And I just remember the commercial being, all these kids getting excited about seeing these presents. And then it shoots over to Katie and she goes, and then
my
you see
God.
this big, huge, gigantic teddy bear, and she just runs to it and hugs it with such emotion. Oh, it was, we were so young. I want to say anywhere from 1st to 3rd grade is how young we were when she was in that commercial.
Well, and you know, back then, that's when commercials were made locally. There
Yes.
weren't a lot of international or national spots. There was like one per hour instead of all of them per hour.
Right. I can't remember. Maybe it was, I think it was Toys R Us. I
Oh.
believe it was Toys R Us that she was in a commercial for.
That is cool. I mean,
But yeah, we just thought like, oh my God.
Oh,
So if you see that Toys R Us commercial, you see that girl that goes and runs to the teddy bear. I know her. I go to school with her. You want my autograph?
That's what you was telling people at
I was
Skate
telling
Row?
everybody that would listen. Like, she sits next to me in class, bitch. Just saying. So, but
we didn't have anybody cool like that at my school. I mean, we had cool kids, but none of them were like famous.
And then we have another guy by the name of John Woodruff that has went on to be a producer in LA and a filmmaker, and he's done.
I've heard the name.
He's done horror flicks.
There's also a guy from Tecumseh, Tyler something. He went on to become a pretty famous stage actor in New York or somewhere like that.
Yeah.
And then a guy from my school, Jason Bruns, went on to become a very famous, what's it called when you're like a professional drummer? Is that a percussionist?
Yeah.
Okay.
A drummer.
Yeah, well, he's everything. Like, the dude, like, he's on the Grammy Council. He gets to go to the Grammys every year because he votes in the Grammys. He was not a dick in high school.
Do you need a date plus one?
I know, right? I love saying that about a celebrity. I'm like, he was not a dick in high school. He never once made fun of me for being gay. He was never weird. He was always the guy that just loved music and wore, like, music t-shirts.
Speaking of being gay, I want to thank Nick. You know exactly what I'm going to say, too. So, I love my grandmother.
Oh! This is so funny. Because I didn't even mean it. I was just like...
I know,
like,
but
I was
it
just
was
like,
so innocently funny, is what it was. So, I have
It was a pretty funny one.
what I'm about to speak about is not the views or beliefs of either one of us, but we have to respect everyone because she is my grandmother. But anyway, I digress respectfully. My grandmother is very conservative.
As are most grandmothers.
Well, this one, she takes it to extreme. So, for example, one time, my sister and I were having a conversation in front of my grandmother, our grandmother, about how I was saying if my brother found the right man, I would, in a heartbeat, be a surrogate for him and his partner, so they could have a child that has both of their DNA. You would have thought I told my grandma I wanted to burn down an orphanage on Christmas Eve.
Right. That's hot.
And she goes, why would you put a child in that situation? I was like, what situation are you having two fucking parents that love it?
And the coolest aunt in the universe.
Ever, bitch. So my sister stopped talking, like, that was it for my sister. Like, I kind of, I can respect people's beliefs, but don't shit on me because I don't believe. So I was watching this documentary about, like, gays and lesbians in comedy. And there was a joke that Marsha Warfield told.
I love Marsha
And
Warfield.
I started laughing hysterically. I just thought it was funny as shit. So I shared it on Facebook. And the quote was, she said, and Marsha's back from the 60s, So she's, from a different time. So when she says, back in my day, I didn't realize we had gay family members, but now that I'm adult, I realize we had Aunt Butch and Uncle Swirl. I fucking lost my shit. Or Uncle Twirl is what it was. Uncle Twirl. I was fucking floored. I was laughing so hard at that. I was like, I gotta share that. That's the funniest shit ever. So I posted on there, and my grandmother comments, "What are you trying to say?" And I'm just like, God damn it. The amount of people that are going to flood out of that closet when that woman dies, it's going to be like,
Right.
We're going to have to build an ark. But I put, don't worry, Grandma, not your side. We all know you're not allowed to be a gay on that side of the family. No gays or lesbians are over there, Grandma. It's okay. It's all on my daddy's side. We're all fags up here, not down there. Jesus.
Oh, there's no coffee. I'm good.
And then Nick goes and likes and laughs at all the comments. And I'm like, I see you over here, Nick, liking and laughing at all the comments. My grandma. That was hilarious. Oh my God.
That was pretty good.
She's so conservative, it makes me want to puke. But on to the next topic. So much like Tristan, there is another individual that has almost a year and a half of sobriety.
Woo!
And he's finally in a different mindset. Finally in my mindset that I knew his mind needed to be set at. I got a friend request the other day and I said, ain't nobody pretending to be my boy on Facebooks. But it was him.
So it was actually
He's like, Mom, I'm out of jail.
yeah.
I'm in sober living. I've been sober 14 months. It's different this time. I'm not going to let you down. I said, don't let them know your next step is success because they're waiting for you to fail. Keep it quiet.
Is.
He said, well, I want to share something with you. I have a job interview today and I really hope it goes well. Well, it did.
Yay!
He got the job.
Congratulations.
So if you need a tattoo, if you need that ink therapy, if that buzz just makes your penis moist,
it does a lot of people's panties.
then might I suggest you go to Ascension Tattoo in Huber Heights, Ohio, which is right down the street from me. You can call me up. I'll bring you a cup of coffee. It'll still be hot when I get there. Still be hot when I get there. But if you need a tattoo done...
And I will come dance with my shirt off if you want to see some legal titty action.
And if you want to see some illegal titty action, that ain't the place for you.
Yeah, the living room, conveniently located in Medway, Ohio.
So yeah, go into Ascension Tattoos. He starts tomorrow, Wednesday the 23rd. So I'm going to go in there and say hi to him and give him a smooch because I haven't been able to hold him in a long time. And I'm going to do that.
And she's going to give any of the single men there my phone number.
Yep. Whether you're gay or not, you'd be gay for a day.
Especially if I got some of that knockout for $18 plus tax.
All right, P. Diddy. Anyway, so his name is Cody Frieders. And his mom, well, his whole family grew up like 2 streets up from me. And his uncle Jody...
Was that down by the river?
Down by the cemetery. Down by the cemetery.
The cemetery.
And his family grew up there, and his mom was pretty much like a sister. And she tragically took her own life.
Oh, that wasn't a bird. That was a window. I was like,
yeah, that was a window.
What fudge was that?
Cody's mother unfortunately took her own life back in 2013, I believe it was. And I promised her that I would look out for Cody. She had another son, but he had family. Cody was just kind of a wayward son, I would say. Not in a bad way, but in a bad way.
He just wasn't super
But in a bad
close
way.
with
And he
any
would
of
get in
them.
trouble. And I was waiting for this particular message for him to understand and get it. And I think he does. I'm so proud of him. I cannot wait to hug his neck tomorrow.
Yeah, you have to embarrass him.
And oh, it's happening. It's getting embarrassed.
Like balloons, Channel 2 News. Oh, I gleeked again. What's wrong with me today?
You're on a roll. I caught it
That's
time.
twice.
That's twice.
Twice today, y'all.
Yep.
I could never do that on command, ever. So I don't know it
speaking of
happened
tattoos,
magically twice.
You know, I have my mom and dad on me. You know, I got a Harley Davidson symbol with dad on it, and then I got a butterfly for my mom because, you know, dad was a motorcycle guy and mom loved butterflies. But I'm not gonna get. I might get underneath like the year she was born and the year he was born, but I don't want to put a death date on there because as long as I'm still alive, they're alive through me.
You're absolutely right. I don't think you should.
So,
and it's a personal. It's not a. I'm knocking on people that do that, but
no, for me it's poetic that way.
I think life is to celebrate lives. Like,
but I need to make an appointment with Cody because I still need to get my daughter's name tattooed on me because I don't have that yet. I was waiting until after the adoption was over and her name was changed, and it's been over a year, so I think it's about time. But I already know how I want her tattoo to be because I've told the story before. Memorial Day years back, we had like 27 tornadoes touch down.
That was the weirdest Sim City. It was like you went and took a shower and you left your city playing on Sim City, and your kid came up and turned on
the fuck out
every disaster at the same time.
Yep. And
I
the day after,
surprised if we had an earthquake the next morning.
I mean, it was awful. And then, but all we got was rain. At our house, all we got was rain.
My neighborhood survived. Every neighborhood around me wiped out.
Yeah, my hometown, Brookville, was awful. We went and volunteered and helped with the cleanup and all the things. So we only got rain. And the day after is when I got my daughter. Literally the day after.
Brookville got hit pretty hard by those tornadoes.
They did. So I always tell her, she came out of Amy's belly. The tornado picked her up and brought her to my house. I mean, literally the day after the tornadoes.
I mean, that's pretty true, too.
So when the name that she got when we adopted her, because she was still young enough to change her name, was Rainly. Rain, because that's all we got. And then L-Y for Love You. Her middle name is Joe, which my middle name is Joe, but she's actually named Joe after Joseph, my brother. But I want her tattoo to be just her name. But in all capital letters. And then I want the Y to be a tornado.
Oh, that's gonna be so fucking cute. I was just
write it down, Cody.
Yep, I like that.
R-A-N or A. I got too many kids. R-A-I-N-L-Y, and the Y needs to be a tornado.
That is gonna be so cute. That could be like her.
You can throw a cow in that tornado.
That could be her branding someday. Like if she ever has a store, she could do it the same way.
That is a great idea. Yeah, and that's the story that I tell her. She knows that she's. She knows she's adopted, but in a 6-year-old's explanation, you came out of Amy's belly and the tornado brought you to my house.
They really start to understand it more around 9 or 10.
Yeah.
That's when the adult stuff starts to move around in your brain.
I remember one of the most horrific things I ever did when I was 6 years old, and I should have got my ass whooped. I should have gotten my. We don't even talk
about how evil of a child. I was a.
I don't know if I
super villain until I was 9.
I was gonna say I don't know if I was doing it to be a villain, but then again, I think I kind of was because my dad's parents raised me, and they would talk shit about him all the time about how shitty of a father he was, taking care of this little girl that wasn't even his. Talking about Amy.
That's not fair.
Well, and I heard all of those things.
I know a lot of men that have raised other men's children.
And Amy never would have known if I hadn't opened my mouth. I told her at 6 years old. And she was even younger than that. And I don't even think she understood it. But by God, her mom and my dad was pissed. And rightfully so. I should have got my ass whooped. But my grandma was sitting back yeah, because I think my grandma did that shit on purpose. She would say things around me knowing.
She got happy that you spoke for her.
Yes. I think she did that shit on purpose because I was a 6-year-old little girl. What are you going to do?
What do we call that generation? Because it's the boomers' parents.
Exactly. I don't know.
Are they just the World War II people? The golden generation or whatever?
The Goldens, yeah, something like that. Because, as an adult, you look back on that and you're like, that woman told all those things to me on purpose so I would go and run my mouth because who's going to fucking whoop a 6-year-old's ass? Just like she went as far as telling me, this is honest God's truth. She would tell me, oh yeah, that Barbara Harrison up there on Front Street, Grandpa's been getting in her pants, sleeping with her. I was a little kid. And I remember riding my
I
bike.
secretly love that.
There was an alley behind my house, okay? There's an alley behind my house. You know, the street that my house was on, another alley and another street and another alley. I swear. Now, I was riding in the alley that was between the front street and my street, okay? And this Barbara lady was in her backyard gardening. So when I come, oh yeah, did I ever?
Oh, that's fabulous.
And my grandma did that shit on purpose. So
That's
I'm sitting there, and
Grady's
I
fault.
remember
that
this.
Is 100%
It
Grady's
was.
fault.
She needed her ass beat, but I. To this day, it makes me so mad because all the things she discussed in front of me was for the specific purpose of me running my fucking mouth so she didn't have to.
My family
Even at a
was
young
the
age.
exact opposite. They did not discuss things like that in front of kids.
See, I wish my family was like that.
Now, they might argue in the next room over, were you spying? But it really wasn't in front
Right.
of you. People did not fight in my family often.
Right.
And it was always behind closed doors.
Yeah, Mike and I, if we ever had like issues or anything, like we'd never.
And the
ever
one
in
family
front of the
never
kids.
fought.
And we never really fought ever. I would say ever. We have never fought. But I just had a brain. Oh, so anyway, I remember so I'm sitting there on my bicycle, right, and she's out in the yard doing her gardening and everything, and I'm just sitting there staring at her, thinking about
God,
all
you
the things.
Fucking old slut.
And of course, I'm a little girl. Sleeping with means you're going to her house and taking naps.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying?
I used to think the same thing when I would hear people say so and so sleeping with them. I'm like,
But they taking naps.
I was
Exactly.
like, right? Like,
So
I'm
I
like,
didn't know what fucking meant back then. So I'm just looking at her, you know, and she's like, well, hello there. And I'm just like,
Well, hi there, old.
said nothing, right? And she goes, how are you doing? I said, what do you care? I'm a little girl. Little girls don't talk that way.
No, boys do, but you're right.
And
girls don't.
I'm like, what do you care? And she just kind of looked at me real funny as if like, oh, okay. And she's like, how's your grandma doing? And I didn't say
shit.
nothing. And before she could even take the next breath, she's like, how's your grandpa? I said, well, you should know you're sleeping with him. That woman got up so quick, Nick. I've never seen an elderly woman. Oh, she
deserved every bit of that.
And when she started coming towards me, my fat ass took off on that bicycle. By the time I got to the house, I went in the house and I'm like, Grandma, so I was up and Barb, and she's coming, and what did you do, Kathy? Bitch, you know what I did. Do you know that my grandmother,
Pretended to.
she beat my ass on the front porch with a belt, Nick, in front of that woman for doing that. And it was her goddamn fault.
Yeah, no, that's when you tell you later, like, okay, that was so bad, but it's my fault. I should never.
Oh, no, she would never take accountability for her actions.
Oh.
Fuck no. Oh, God, that would
See-
mean she was wrong about something.
I only heard my grandma cuss one time, and that was when she didn't like one of my uncle's girlfriends, who was.
Questionable.
No, she was 15 years younger than him. So
Oh.
she was just being herself.
Yeah.
So, whatever.
Yeah. Well, well, it's just like when my oldest son is 30 years old. When he was,
God, you're
like,
old.
I'm so ancient. When he was like 3, barely 3. Now, we lived here. We had a pretty big yard, and then my uncle lived here, my grandma's son lived here, and then my grandma's brother lived right next to him. Now this bitch had no excuse why she couldn't walk. She was still well abled. Why she couldn't walk from her house to my uncle's house. There was
They were
no
neighbors.
reason. They were neighbors. But she got in her van, put my child in the van. Knowing my child, this was my bad kid. He was my sneaky one. He was my runaway. He was all the things. She had him in the car. She didn't have him buckled up. She just had him sitting in the seat. Well, honey, I was just running up to Uncle Dan's. What
Up
happened?
to Uncle Dan's?
Well, what happened was she left the fucking car running with my kid in the car, left the vehicle to go into my uncle's house. My son proceeds to get in the front seat, put the car in reverse.
And this is Kyle.
Bryant, my oldest.
Bryant. Okay.
Kyle's my oldest biological. Bryant's my oldest child.
Okay. Yeah.
So he backs out of my uncle's driveway and into the neighbor across the street's yard, knocks over his porch swing, and
he
slams into a tree.
Was he tall? Could he see over the wheel?
No. He's my short kid. All of my kids are tall but him. Well, my daughter's going to be short too, but...
So was this the 90s?
This was it. Well, he was born in 94, so this had to have been like 97.
So we were already to changing the gear down in the middle.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it was one of them.
Oh.
This is nothing.
Yeah.
So she calls me at work. I was working at Ben. You remember when Ben Franklin was in Brookville?
I do remember.
I was working at Ben Franklin, and I got a phone call.
All the time.
And Mr. Lowry comes up. He says, "Miss Kathy, you got a phone call with your grandma, and she's hysterical." I'm like, "Oh shit!" And I'm like, "What's going on?" "When you get home, you're gonna beat that boy's ass." And I said, "Oh my God, what did he do?" Ain't gonna lie, my kid was a bad kid. And then she told me what happened.
But you can't beat a 3-year-old.
And I said, let me just say this. When I come home, it is not my child's ass that I'm going to be beating, Grandma. It's going to be yours. Did you just hear everything you just fucking said to me, and you're telling me you want me to beat my kid's ass for going for a drive? No.
To drive 250 feet.
Yeah, I had a talk with him about it. I mean, it scared the living piss out of him. But the person that needed reprimanded was the fucking heifer that left him in the van, with it running, with the keys in the car, and
That's scary, because that could have been so bad. What if there'd
my
been
God.
another kid outside? You know, when I was little, in the 80s, this is probably like 89, our football coach accidentally ran over his 3-year-old and killed it.
Oh, no.
The kid came out, like, running to, like, after he was backing out, or something fucked up happened.
Yeah,
and he and he ran over the kid.
That is so sad.
And it wasn't like a drunk thing or anything
just
evil.
A random
no, it was just
mishap.
A total huge accident. And I can just remember, I didn't understand it when we were kids, but like looking back upon it now, he was dead inside.
Yeah, I could imagine.
But he had a teenager
But he had another
how
child.
old were we? We were like 4th graders. So what is that? Like 10, 11, something like that?
Yeah. Well, before the end of the podcast, we do have another sponsorship.
Oh, yeah.
So we've all heard there are a lot of fish in the sea. Well, you couldn't tell my cousins that. They found a mud puddle and just started sharing fish. I would wonder, like, okay, weren't you just with this other cousin over here? Why are you at my house now? Oh, well, I'm with her now. Oh, you're with her now? Okay. And then he'd be gone again, and then be back with this cousin. And then the one that was with this cousin's now with this. I'm like, what you doing at my house? Oh, I'm with her now. Well, weren't you just over here? Like, it was a mud puddle. It wasn't the sea. But now they have these things. This is what we call a man detector. Now, what you do is you press this little button right here, and then you into the nearest sea of penises.
And it will pull you out one you're not related to and one you've not ever been with before. It knows. It has access to your social networking.
And if you act now, we will add the STD attachment, and it will weed out anyone that has the chlamydia or
the Super G.
The gonorrheas. The gonorrheas.
And if you get the deluxe version, which is the version showed, the luxury edition, it's also a lighter. So if you're one of those very few people that actually still smoke cigarettes, or if you consume marijuana and combust it, this is a great thing to have.
Or
especially for a date.
Speaking of dates, if you're trapped in your date's car, this also can double as a window breaker. Just
and then it goes.
Throw
and then
that
in slow
fish back
motion,
in the ocean.
The water pours in.
Yeah, throw that fish back in the ocean because this motherfucker faulty.
Take your seatbelt off first.
Must definitely take that seatbelt off first.
Don't be trying to get that fucker off while it's wet.
No, if you put it under here, it'll rip it off for you. I mean, it's a do-all.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It'll get you a
it
man.
cuts the seatbelt too.
It'll get you a man that is STD free, that you never slept with before, that you don't share DNA ties to. And for a bonus feature, just for today only, use the promo code PUNKUNICORNS and you will get the parental detector. And what that does is only gets you men whose parents are deceased.
That's right. You don't
How
have to
easy
worry
is that?
about those annoying mothers. He's looking for a family, so he will idolize yours.
And it's the Punk
Punk
Unicorns
Unicorns
podcast.
podcast.
Go fetch your ass a man.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Fetch it.
Oh wait a minute.
Almost done?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Up.